I'm not a rapper. I'm a writer, an artist, a storyteller that loves hip hop. Some of y'all know me as Sam, Sammy, Samwell, Bacardi, or Bacardi Riam. But all of you, if you're seeing this, know me, or at least a part of me. We may have worked for the same company. We could be family. We may have participated in less than legal activities together, or we could have made music together. Through my career as a performer, my focus has always been to add the perspective of our stories. I've done that on If It Happened to You, Trial and Adversity, Out Here, Can We, 2 Feet Deep, and more songs that most of y'all never heard. The one thing that everybody that's a part of my story asks is, why don't you talk about, and then they tell me a story that they remember. Some of those stories can't be told, but a lot of times I have talked about it, and that's a problem for me. I mean, if I'm talking about it and you're listening, how are we missing each other? I've thought about this a lot, and I think that the disconnect happens because at best, there's a few lines and very little context. So I've decided to change that. This is Storytime with Brian. If you don't know me, like I said, I'm a writer, an artist, a storyteller that loves hip hop. I say my career first started when I got invited to work at the Drug Lab, the studio where Psycho Realm, Street Platoon, Six Symphonies created these albums. I opened up for Psycho Realm's War Story Book 2 release at the El Rey Theater. If you were there early enough, you remember 2 dudes waving around Puerto Rican flags and girls dancing on stage. I was in that group. I also turned 21 the next day. Here's a clip of me in the crowd that night. At the time, I was a petty drug dealer. My partner in crime and I had a spot in the Hotel Lafayette in the Rampart District. This one night, I'm working the late night shift. I'm half asleep on the floor with one of those armchair pillows. And someone says to me, if you don't get out of here the first chance that you get, you know what's going to happen. We've seen this movie before. So I jump up, look around, I check the doors, check the window, check the bathroom, check the closet. Nobody's there. So I sit down, I roll up, and my mind is racing. I'm trying to figure out where this came from, and the more and more I think about it, I realize I have seen this movie before, not only in the theater, but in real life. And for the first time ever, I can see where I'm going, and I'm scared as shit. The morning finally comes. My partner gets there, and right away, I'm like, nigga, we got to tighten up. We got to strap up. Something's going to happen. This nigga's like, what happened last night? And I'm like, nothing, but I promise you something's going to happen. Now, as I say this, I know how crazy this sounds, so I don't blame him for not listening. In fact, I would have not listened, and I probably would have been monitoring the stash a little more tight. I couldn't explain it, but I knew better than anything that something was going to happen. And we weren't ready for it. If you're thinking at this point, nigga, you sounding dope. Of course something's going to happen. You're not wrong. But this wasn't the first time I heard that voice. We'll get to that another time. The point is, nobody listened, and we kept running business as usual. Until one day I'm downstairs doing laundry. The homie forgot something. He runs upstairs to grab it. And when he comes back down, he's tripping. He walks up to me and he says, I got to tell you something, but you can't freak out. So we walk outside. This nigga's tripping. He comes to me and he tells me, blah, blah, blah is right upstairs right now. They got blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. They got guns and they robbing us right now. So we run into the hotel. We go to the floor above the spot. We listen to these dudes smack up the young homies, pistol whip one of the homies, and then they throw a mattress over his head and threaten to kill him if they don't give him the money or the work. But they don't have any info to give them, even if they wanted to save their own lives. So they take what they can find and they leave. Now I got niggas' attention. They don't want to tighten up, but they want to strap up and they want revenge. So we strap up as loose as ever. Got at least a decade of mandatory time worth of guns and drugs laying around. Still having issues from the robbery. Oh, and still trying to rap too. I remember one Friday, it's like me and 6 niggas, we drinking and smoking and watching the Lakers. A bunch of us are going to go to a party in the Hollywood Hills later. Some of them are going to hold it down. Somebody knocks on the door. I go to answer. At this point, I'm so comfortable living in the danger, I don't go anywhere without my black Ruger P89 and an extended clip. It's on me as I walk to the door, and it's the motherfucking cops. I see them standing away from the door, hands on holsters, and it felt like I died. All I'm thinking about is the decade of dope and guns behind me in the room. And I know I got to keep it together. And I know I can't let them in unless they got a warrant. So even though I'm wearing baggy jeans, a white t-shirt, fitted Air Force Ones, I put on my most professional voice. And I say, "What's going on, officers?" They tell me they got a report of a domestic violence at their address and that we're looking into it. I say, "Officer, there ain't no girls here. It's just us watching the Lakers." They ask me, "You mind if we come in and check? We just want to make sure everything's okay." And I'm like, "I don't think that's necessary, officers. I already told you there's no girls here. But if you want, I'll call one of my friends out. You can ask him and he'll tell you the same thing." So I call the whitest homie there. He's not full white, but he's white passing, got a blue collar style, not at all gangster hip hop at all. He's the punk rock homie. He comes to the door, the cops tell him the story. And he's like, "Nah, it's just 6 guys here watching the Lakers, having some beers." And they're like, "Okay, have a good night." And they leave. I close the door, and as me and the homie walked back to the main area of the room, we don't say nothing, but the look we exchange, it says everything. We both know who was there before us, and we both know that the homie liked to beat his women. And to be honest with you, it's fucked up, but I didn't really care that he beat his women. But him beating his girl in the spot and not even telling us that it's hot and leaving, that was unacceptable. I go to the party anyways. Later on, I link up with the homie. It's just me and him riding to take care of some business. So I ask him, "Yo, what happened?" I'm in the spot, cops come, and they're like, somebody beating their girl. I don't remember what he said to me, but instantly I knew it was bullshit. So I was like, "Yo, we can't have this. It's too hot." And I should have left it right there. But I felt like I needed to tell him, "Yo, I don't even know why you messing with these hood rats right now. You got Shorty across town. She's a rider, my nigga. You need to stick with that." And you know what he said to me? I never forget it. He said, "I don't listen to the homies when they talk to me about my bitches because I know they just want to fuck." At this point, I realized I crossed the line, so I didn't respond to him. But I'm playing back in my head every time me and him are in the room with women, and I can't think of a single time me and him even looked at the same one. So at this point, I know this nigga's either on dope or he's crazy. But either way, he ain't gonna listen to me, and I gotta get away from this nigga. I'd already been going to the drug lab on and off, but after that, I decided to stay out of the dope spot as much as possible. St. Louis was going to the drug lab a lot at that time, and I would tag along with them, stay up there for days, sleep on the couch, sleep on the floor. Jack, Crow, FM, they were all around, but mostly we kicked it with Cynic. At one point, Cynic mentioned, "Man, this fool," my partner, called me, talking about, "Why you always hanging out with Bacardi? He's my partner." He's like, "Yo, I stopped him right there. Bacardi's a grown-ass man. You a grown-ass man. I'm a grown-ass man. Y'all are both welcome here. Don't ever call me with this bullshit again." I never had a conversation with my partner, but at that point, he knew I was out. We moved the spot to Koreatown. It was hotter than ever. Nobody was listening. And I knew it was only a matter of time until the cops come. And I had to get out of there before then. I didn't have another way to make money. I didn't even have an ID. So I kept going because I didn't know what to do. It was my only way to survive. But at this point, I can't shake the feeling that every day I'm getting closer to death or prison. I don't know if I was stupid or just crazy myself, but I wasn't scared of dying. In fact, I had a conversation with myself where I discussed it and I was like, based on what I seen prison do to niggas, I'd rather die. Not long after that, I got a call from my mom. She said she needed my help, asked me if I would move in with her, and I knew that was my shot.